can just sit there and analyze the situation. And I first did this my last time in treatment when I gave a note to a person, and next thing I know, the person's like, "Oh, I lost that note," and I'm like, "Oh, what do you mean you lost the note? Someone's gonna find it." And at first I jumped, to the normal reaction of what I would always do, and I was mad, and I wanted to, tell this person that they were so stupid, and I can't believe it, and then I just sat there and I took a deep breath and I thought, well, what's the worst that's going to happen? Someone reads the stupid note. By me getting mad and angry and taking it out on this person, it's not going to make the note appear. So I chose to just go, whatever. And then the said person finds the note. Oh, I didn't check this pocket. And I'm like, save myself from being an ass. Like, I could have, jumped to conclude, this and that. I could have just been a complete ass. And then I would have had to apologize. And then I would have felt stupid. And I didn't have to do that. So that was the first time I was like, wow. Like, I dodged a bullet there. And then, there are many times since then, where I've just, okay, bite your tongue. It takes practice. It really does. And I thought to myself, well, I'm glad I didn't react that way, because then, again, I would have made an ass out of myself. And then yesterday, or I guess over the weekend, whatever it was, somebody, Marney, lost a set of keys. And I don't know. I was just like, it'll turn up. And it's not that I thought, it'll turn up, stop looking for him, because you were, like, clearly upset. And I wasn't even willing to put it on you 100% yet. I mean, I figured it was probably you that lost them or misplaced them. But I don't know. I don't know that it wasn't me. And for me to act like mad or blame you, or it's not going to bring the keys back, like, making you feel bad. It's not going to, I can tell you're feeling bad enough already. And hey, man, they're just keys, and having that kind of approach is so much more calming. Like, it's so...
Especially when you find them.
Yeah, and you're like... I'm glad you did find them. I could tell that meant a lot. And just the relief, you're probably like, thank God. But there were only a few places where we went, where they could have been. So, I don't know. Either they're there or they're not. And if they're not, all right, well, then we get some new ones. Is it going to be expensive? Probably. But at the end of the day, hey, man, they're just keys,
Yeah. Well, I mean, here the funny thing is in this weird cosmic way, that situation kind of overlapped with what I was writing about in this weird offset way, because being in a prior relationship where if a situation like that would have happened, and it would have been complete off the charts chaos, awfulness for me. I mean, I don't even want to imagine, like, the payback or whatever you want to call it that I would have had to have to hear and handle and go through for something as simple as a set of keys. Seriously. And in that moment, I mean, I actually did have a panic attack kind of situation, because my mind somewhere back there was this defense mode that I went to, like, I'm going to get the crap, like, this is not going to be good. This is not good. And I need to find these or I'm going to be in trouble, And so then I just stopped myself and was so grateful, because I'm like, it's not like that anymore. I don't need to worry about. Even my mom commented on it. She was just like, oh, I bet you, Corey's really happy that you found the keys. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, he's happy. I'm like, but he was upset, more upset that I was upset than him being upset about the keys in general. It's just like, you being upset is not going to make the keys appear, I think is the words you said. Words of wisdom. Yeah. But no, I was really grateful that you were very calm about it, and you did handle it wonderfully. So anyway, but you know, how different it is when you're in a healthy relationship with a healthy person, that it's just so much easier.
And I mean, I have my moments, though. Just, don't get me wrong. And it's all practice, and it takes time, and it takes experience, and you have to be in these situations in order to use the whole, let me just take the time out here, and just let me think about it. You know, what's the worst case scenario? You know, oh, we got to buy some new keys. Okay, what to do? You know, like, even if you're broke or even if you're strapped, that's not the worst thing in the world. You know, pray about it. Have faith. You know, God will make it happen for you. He's worked wonders in my life, and it's because I believe I have that faith, and I don't know why I'm living so willy-nilly. I'm like, God's got me, you know. A lot of people in my situation be freaking out, and I don't know. It's just God has it all planned out for me, and I just have to keep doing the little things. And, you know, some of these things that I'm doing, I don't really talk about on the podcast, but I didn't come up with them. You know, I wake up a lot in the middle of the night, and I'm just like, boom, boom, I got to do this. And I don't know where it came from. I don't know. You know, and when I'm driving sometimes, it'll just, I did a little self-care today, went to the doctor. It was good.
You did.
You know, and just driving there, I'm just like, all these thoughts and these things just pop in my head, and I'm like, yeah. And I don't know, like, I'm just enjoying the sunshine and the AC in the car, you know, and these things just come in my head. So I give it the credit to God on that. And, you know, I am having faith, and I am jumping, and I know God's going to catch me. So that's why I don't really stress out about, like, the things that I should be, that most people would be stressing out about, I guess, or, you know, the old me. But, you know, it is good, and it's nice to have those moments and to make the right decision. Because if I would have freaked out, first of all, I wouldn't have brought the keys back. It would have made you feel even worse. There was no point in that, you know. Is he going to get mad at you, yell at you? I mean, again, it's not going to bring the keys back. So, you know, I just thought, hey, you know, I should probably act even more calm now, because she's really freaking out, and you could tell it was bothering you. So, yeah, don't freak out, you know, when things happen. And sometimes it depends on what it is, but your reaction could be so over the top that, you know, you could really do more damage to your relationships and, you know, to, I don't know if it's your job or, you know, probation officer or whatever, you know, like, because they'll get under your skin, and I think that they do it on purpose. But
and the irony is like, I actually have a car that has keys to lose with an apartment key on it. And so these things, you know, probably didn't even have keys to that because I didn't have them before. So anyway, but yeah, it was good. I mean, it actually was a healthy realization that, you're right, like, don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah, life goes on. And yeah, it's one of those situations. You have to pat yourself on the back sometimes, and I think you handled it well. But yeah, just look at those little wins, and they add up, and then you can look back at them and go, yeah, you know, I am changing. I think you put something like that in your blog where, you know, you kind of look back and think, yeah, you know, I have come a long way, even though, you know, it's been 10 months or whatever since your last drink. That's a long time. And I was sitting there watching Leaving Las Vegas was the movie we watched and we're about to review. But I was sitting there thinking, you know, I'll have 19 months coming up, and I'm like, man, that'll be 20 months. I'm going to have 2 years pretty soon. You know, December is coming. Maybe that's when I was singing Christmas songs before we started the podcast. I don't know. But it's flown by. The first year, maybe it's because you get the chip every month and you're always waiting for that next one. I was waiting for that next one to give away to my family. And, you know, I don't really get chips for now until the second year. Right. So I don't know, but it's just flying by. And it's just crazy to think that, you know, 19 months clean and sober is just I kind of look back and go, man, I should be doing more. But I don't know. It's good. But yeah, leaving Las Vegas, I've seen parts of it. A friend of mine once told me, and I thought he had a drinking problem. I think I was probably 23, maybe 22. I don't remember, the early 20s. But I was living with my friend Mike, and he looked at me one day and was like, bro, he's like, you're scaring me. I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you're on some leaving Las Vegas shit, and I was like, what do you mean? He's like, that movie with Nicolas Cage? I was like, he's like, bro, you got to watch that, man. He's like, you're really scaring me, man. You got to slow down on the drinking. You're like waking up drinking. I'm like, well, yeah, that's what I do. It's Tuesday. Why wouldn't I? But today was the first time I watched it all the way through, and a few takeaways on it. I thought that Nicolas Cage did a pretty good job. A lot of movies that deal with addiction, and I can't really speak on the opiate, because there's a lot of those out there too. But when people do movies about, an alcoholic or somebody, substance use, whether a choice or drug of choice is alcohol, it's a lot to sit through, and I'm like, okay, that would never happen. That's not going to happen. A lot of the stuff is just not very believable. Nicolas Cage did a pretty good job, though. There were a few parts where I'm like, but for the most part, I think he did a wonderful job, and he wasn't overacting. But the part that made me feel the most uncomfortable was when, what's her name? Elizabeth Shue? Yeah. When she asked him to move into her apartment with him. And the whole sense of, I got the keys to the kingdom now. Like, it's not about sex. Who cares? It's about being in a place where someone will let me drink 24/7. And that is a scary place to be. Mm-hmm. Like, here you go, the keys to Never Never Land. Or, like, that is scary. And that, pretty much sealed his fate, even though he didn't die until the hotel room. But, just having that access and that you can hide from the whole world. He didn't have anybody. His wife left him. He said that's why he started drinking, or maybe it was because he drank too much, and that's why his wife left him. Mm-hmm. It was all kind of a blur to him, and he just wasn't happy. He was super depressed. But, I don't know if she thought she was helping him, because clearly it was the opposite of helping him. And she had her own problems and her own demons at the same time, which I thought was kind of weird. And maybe people...
It's like a subplot, kind of. Well, no, they kind of went hand in hand. But at the end, she did say something along the lines of that the reason why she loved him is because she needed him and she knew that he needed her. And that they didn't have a lot of time. They didn't have a lot of time together. It was not a feel-good movie.
No.
We'll definitely say that. Yeah, lots of truth, definitely, to the hardcore drinker. I mean, the physical dependence piece, there's a lot of real stuff that was there. That was a lot of real reality in your face. From the tremors and the sweats and, vomiting and sleeplessness and the blackouts. I mean, it was all across the board. They had it all in there.
Yeah, he lost his cool at the casino, and then they show later like he's laying in bed, and that was another uncomfortable moment for me, because I remember laying in bed, just kind of shaking and just wanting it to stop, and then you're trying to put pieces together from what just had happened or what did you say. And now, because that movie was made 100 years ago, it seems like, but nowadays it would be my phone. I would throw my phone. I would put my phone in a complete different room. I would be afraid to even look at it because, what did I say? Trying to piece it all together, and what did I do? I don't